slamming on.
I really need to get bustin' on my Pietro costume.
Yeah.
I have not started it.
Yeah, get bustin'.
Gotta get
I'm
busted.
gonna bust all over it.
That's one way to age something.
Yeah. Yeah, don't. Not like that.
No? Okay.
Don't bust in the waves.
It's too bright in here now that I move these curtains. There we go.
Hey, and welcome to Blank Bodies, a Vampire the Masquerade V5 tabletop and horror podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and I'm joined by...
I very much like we started with that. That was good. Yeah. I'm John.
Oh, this is Sarah. Hi. Hello. Welcome to Tzimisce month.
Woo!
Yay.
Yay!
I'm stoked.
I feel like there should be some ominous, like, thunder and
Yeah.
ringing sound effects. The crackling of a mad scientist lab. Weird, squishy flesh noises. They're just stirring a big pot of mac and cheese.
Who's stirring the mat?
Probably 6 or 7 people, but they're also the Mac.
They are stirring themselves, which I guess is now a new euphemism. You're welcome, the internet.
Who's stirring Mac? Mac is the ghoul.
Oh, no!
Oh, no. Yeah, so, Tzimisce month. For those who are new, welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade Clan Deep Dive series.
Maybe don't make this your first episode.
You're starting on Tzimisce. Bold choice.
Yeah.
Bold choice. So, for a refresher for those who do not know or have forgotten, we are working our way through all of the clans in Vampire the Masquerade. The order that they have been presented in is due to the voting habits of our patrons. Thanks, guys. Guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
We started with the ones in the core book, and then we're now doing the chunk that were added later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Hakata is last.
Hakata's last.
Because they're like 5 clans combined into one, like the Tzimisce might do to some people.
Yeah, they're in one Omni clan now.
Omni-clan.
Which is cool, but we'll
Complicated.
It's complicated.
It's complicated.
It's hard to make them their own
It breaks the
episode.
format.
Yeah.
So the format is, first episode, we talk about clan vibes, disciplines, just kind of the basics for you to get a feel of what you're doing and what themes will be coming up in a character of this clan.
Yeah.
Part 2 will be the clan's generalized history and timeline. Yeah.
That's going to be rough.
It's been rough, buddy. And then the third episode is usually our bonus episode, but it'll be handled by one skipper.
Me.
Because
This
is his favorite clan.
Yeah.
So we're making him work.
Woohoo!
So the bonus episode will be Skipper's hyperfixation hour.
Yeah, yeah. I'm doing Caldinism.
Yeah.
I ruined the surprise.
That's fine.
I was going to have our patrons vote on it, and then I was like, nah, I just want to do Caldinism.
Yeah, it made writing so much easier for me, because I was like, Coldism? I'm not talking about it. That's bad. If you want Caldunism, go to part 3 when that's out.
It's wacky.
So, content warning.
We
will be discussing issues that do involve gender dysphoria, body horror, self-harm, torture, abuse, sexual assault, kink and BDSM, human experimentation, toxic relationships, disease and infection, and loss of autonomy. If any of it's gonna give you the ick, the heebie-jeebies, the cringe, whatever, feel free to pause, take care of yourself, come back later, or skip it entirely. That's fine, we respect your choices. Why are you giggling?
It's just, I should not have been surprised.
Yeah.
When, the first try, I was like, oh my god, this trigger warning list, like, not good.
Yeah, and yet again.
And then it happened again, and I listened to it again.
And we gotta do it again. And you're still just
and
like...
I'm still like, whoops.
Jesus, this is a long list. I'm like, yeah.
Yep.
It's gonna get worse. Next episode.
Yep.
Strap in. Strap in, strap on. Change your bits as needed, I suppose. Your downstairs business.
You could make it like a revolver if you wanted.
Oh, Jesus. Sources for this episode is the V5 Player's Guide, the V5 Core Book, Clan Book Tzimisce Revised, Sabbat the Black Hand, the 20th Anniversary Edition of Vampire the Masquerade, Player's Guide to the Sabbat, VTM Dark Ages Core Book, the Gehenna War Book, Second Inquisition Book, Ghouls and Revenants, and Dirty Secrets of the Black Hand.
Those are dirty, dirty secrets.
Dirty secrets. No. Speaking of dirty secrets, recordings!
What?
This is where the quotes will go.
Oh!
We almost pity you, usurper of Cain's legacy, bastard spawns of a progenitor who aped and raped his way to immortality. We know what they whisper in your chantries. Your elders admonish you to commit suicide rather than fall into the clutches of the fiends. In this, if nothing else, your elders speak truth, but think of what comes next as a learning experience. You will learn how a true vampire treats his lessers and punishes his enemies. I advise you to pray to your god, the god of your mortality, not Tremere, and certainly not Cain. You see, we are Cain's childer, and believe me, you are in hell. Clan Book, Tzimisce, page 6.
Velia, a modest proposal. Let's sheath the sword of Cain, awaken our father, and be done with the whole thing. No, I have not defected to the Camarilla. Hiding in fields does not suit a diplomat. Rather, I have just had the most unpleasant interaction with a fresh pack that supposedly shares our blood. The fires in their bellies betrayed them, Mrs. Tzimisce, and I am glad that the blood hasn't thinned to nothing just yet. But their fire blazes unchecked. Where's the discipline? Where's the measured ingenuity that made us sovereigns of the old world?
Cardinal Radu of Bistritz, Clan Book, Tzimisce Revised, page 75.
We fit in better than we could have imagined. Manchester, London, New York, Chicago. Gargantuan graveyards sprouting 30-story tombstones. Mausoleums proclaiming, God is dead. What better place to prepare our great metamorphosis than a giant insect hive? Clan Book Tzimisce, page 21.
Thank you for the quotes, Eric,
Yeah.
Ash, and Brent.
That sounded nice. I like your voice.
Well, they do good work. You should tell them they
Okay.
do good work.
Hey, guys, you did good work.
Ayo. Sorry.
Get back to work.
Get back to work.
Speaking of getting into the trenches, hi. So, vibes for Clan Tzimisce. What the fuck is this? Who are they? What do they do? What is she wearing?
I think they're vampires.
They are vampires. They're, in fact, what I like to term vampire classic TM.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about, lords of the land, ancient authorities, aristocrats, tradition, hospitality, monstrous fury, grudges, everything that kind of gets thwacked onto
Think that Dracula.
Dracula classic.
Mm-hmm.
Spooky man in the creepy castle with the furs and the
Yeah.
boots and
He's just weird. Don't understand
weird
him.
guy, old magics, old history,
Mm-hmm.
big mustache.
It is weird that Nosferatu is absolutely a Tzimisce.
Oh, yeah, not weird at all. I'm like, yep. I know he's called Nosferatu, but I'm like, in the Robert Eggers ones, I'm like, that man is a Tzimisce.
Absolutely.
Holy shit. Tzimisce are very authoritarian, hierarchical, and even tyrannical at their worst.
Yeah.
They also have a lot of dragon symbolism. Oh,
They're
geez.
grabby a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit of grabbers.
They're
Yeah, the dragon symbolism, it not only does it have ties with Dracula, Vlad Tepes, son of the dragon, that gentleman from history. There's also various meanings that a dragon can represent, including greed, tyranny, transformation, power,
etc., etc., etc.
as with many cultural touchstone symbolic items, because I think pretty much every culture has a dragon of some sort.
Yeah.
There's a lot of nuance and different forms of symbolism of what a dragon could mean. And a lot of, the context we have, thinking of like Smaug.
Yeah.
Or, various other,
I mean, any D&D dragon, really.
D&D dragon, Tiamat.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon that was slayed by St. George is for England.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Oh, that's why they got a picture dragon on shit.
That's Wales.
Oh, that's why Wales did it.
Wait, whales have pictures of dragons?
Oh my
I
god.
thought they communicated
We gotta
via,
move on.
echolocation.
The
Size-wise,
British suffer enough right now.
size-wise, I could see a whale taking on a dragon
dragon?
more than a human.
This is
Oh,
true.
for sure.
Way
Yeah.
more muscle.
Yeah, but the whale doesn't have thumbs, so they cannot wield a sword.
That's true. They do have a tail. If
But
you
a
strap the
Tzimisce
sword
could fleshcraft a whale
hands
to have
onto a
thumbs,
whale.
and then could wield a sword.
Little man arms on a giant whale.
Holding a sword like a toothpick.
You just
I'm a
permanently fleshcraft the sword in the hand.
Yeah, you could.
Make it easy for him.
What, like the gun hand thing in fucking Videodrome?
Yeah.
Or like a knife hand from Changeling.
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm terrified.
You could have, like...
The slotched whale is scary. We're gonna move on. Speaking of moving on, transhumanism.
Yeah,
Big,
moving on.
big thing with this clan. It's like what the whole clan does.
Yeah.
It's their favorite thing.
It is kind of their favorite
So
thing.
most Tzimisce have some distinct separation from humanity. This is often manifest in a kind of uncanny vibe, strange mannerisms, or behaviors and habits that don't quite sit right with the average person. That's the most common. It can get weirder. It can get so much
It
weird.
can get real fucking weird.
So much weird.
This is one of the things, actually, I like. This specific aspect of their transhumanism is one of my favorite things about the clan, like role-playing them, that is, because it's really fun to try to get into that, like, almost alien mindset of, like, no, it makes sense that I would do this. And because it's most efficient, or, you know, whatever reason you think that. And then the people around you are like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah. Like, fun thing to do is just, like, stop blinking as much.
Mm-hmm.
Just little things.
Yep. Or, like, one of the things I do a lot with one of my more recent characters is I just stare. I'll blink still, but I'll just, like, almost stare past all the time while I'm talking. Mm-hmm. And
It's
more
very
often
intense.
than not, people are like, why is he just staring at me like that? Because I'm paying attention to you. What the fuck?
I'm paying attention to you with my full body. And I'm like, coming from you, that's a lot. You have extra ears in places, and you're like, I don't know, find out in game. So Tzimisce often believe that they have ascended beyond humanity through the transformation of embrace.
They are no longer humans.
They are literally like, we're not humans. Why bother?
Yeah.
That's a silly thing to cling to. And then they are continuing to try to ascend beyond vampirism, even.
Yeah.
That's
A lot of them are like trans vampirism.
Yeah, and so they will continue to seek out various kinds of transformations. This can give some of the clan the belief that they are genuinely better than mortals, seeing them as a kind of larval or animal state. And then, continuing on with that, they can also think they're better than other supernaturals.
Because they're also a larval state.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like they're not trying to better themselves or change themselves, or they've become stagnant, or they've bought into the trappings of humanity, or whatever the fuck. There's tons of ways you could take this narratively.
Right.
And depending on how spicy you want to be, it can get very funny in dialogue.
That'd get wild after a while. Like, imagine bringing that attitude to, like, a changeling, or especially, like, a demon.
Changeling would be like a...
Depends on the changeling.
Depends on the changeling.
Really.
Because you're doing dreaming changeling, they are simultaneously trying to ascend through their story through other reincarnations, from my understanding, but they're also, like, locked in their narrative.
Mm-hmm.
So it just needs to be like, that's fascinating.
You are changing, you are growing, but at the same time, you're just repeating the exact same thing.
Is it the repetition that, like, lets you do this transformation, or are you... Yeah, like, there's just so many ways you can take that, which is fun, but also just, like, very heady if you're not ready for that. And some people are like, I just want to be a silly little guy with too many legs. I'm like, that's also fair. But the most iconic representation of this transhumanism thing is the fuck is a gender.
Yeah.
The major component of the transhumanism that gets immediately clocked is gender expression, or the general lack thereof. Some Tzimisce will go, what if I am the cuntiest cunt that ever cunted? Look at my face. It is said thing I've been saying. And others go very androgynous, either like alienly, they'll go very angelically. Some will purposely try to make themselves look as horrifyingly fucked up as possible. Imagination.
Sometimes they like to kind of switch around.
Yeah, sometimes they're like,
depending on the event.
boy day, girl day.
Yeah, yep.
Came in girl, like, and like a fucking costume changed in the middle of a walkway, pulled down, and then is boy now.
Oh no. I put on this skin for now. I'll change later.
I will snatch my own wig off to show off a smaller, smugger wig.
I like the idea of a Tzimisce changing gender, but just depending on who they're dealing with, just to throw people off. So when other people are talking about them, they're like, "Wait a minute, what?" No, I mean I've seen it. They're clearly, wait, what?
Wait, what?
That'd be fun.
I mean, I saw the dangle. Like,
I saw the dangle.
Why are you in any position where you're seeing their downstairs business?
It's a toreador. You're modeling for them.
Yeah.
if any clan's gonna see it, you're gonna see it of it's Tzimisce when they have 5 of them under their armpits.
Yeah, like, look, it's like echidna. I'm like, please put them all away. Put every single one of those away. Holy shit, I wasn't...
Okay, sorry. And they just retract back into their arm.
I'm sorry, it got excited. I'm like, what? Just like shoves a peanut in there.
Oh no.
Like, what? That's crazy. All of that to just give a small little caveat of... I just have a small little editor's note of queer coding with your Tzimisce. This clan has a lot of ties with the LGBT, the Libidicwas, and there's a potential of stumbling blocks for reinforcing harmful stereotypes, because unfortunately a lot of our source material was written in the 90s and the aughts, where people were like, I am showing my love and respect for this community by being edgy as fuck in ways that did not age super great. So, just,
Watch out for that.
Game responsibly. Just as somebody who's in the trans community, sometimes people will write and do things with this clan that make me go, ooh, are you good? And other people, I'm like, yas, queen, serve. Boots the house down, that whole...
Yeah.
It's giving.
Not my house.
Not my...
Why would you do that, boots or not?
I took a sip in the middle of that. That was a mistake. Oh, no. I got fizzy watermelon in my sinuses. Oh, that burns. Anyways. Other gigantic thing with this clan is what I lovingly like to call Gib. With the big smiley face. Grabby hands.
Can I have that? Give it to me.
Like, even beyond that, they're like, oh, this was mine. This has been mine the whole time. You didn't know it existed like 5 minutes ago.
It's mine.
It's been mine. Thank you. Thank you for finding that for me. Like, it's just like the weird gaslight. Woohoo.
Yep.
I would kind of caution towards, again, the new modern classic of the Robert Eggers Nosferatu with Count Orlok and dragons and all of their, like, covetousness. Older Tzimisce tend to be more covetous of land and property and titles, while younger Tzimisce lean more to being covetous with people, objects, and ideas.
Which is kind of cool.
I think that's a fun narrative thing, because it kind of mirrors this big switch that we've been dealing with over the past couple of decades in what kind of things have value in society. And I think it's also kind of a good mirror of the shifts in, like, our postmodern digital age, where we are archiving states of transhumanism through, like, the internet. And social media. So, like, intellectual property things are considered to have more value as opposed to, like, land and physical assets.
Right.
It's like the oil barons of yesteryear are now the billionaire tech bros of today.
Right.
So
I think that's cool on 2 levels, because there's that, and there's also, like, it also reflects, like, how we are here, where it's like the old folk already have all of the stuff, like all of the land, all of the houses, all of the whatever, and they won't fucking give it up.
They won't die.
They won't die, and they won't give it up. And so instead,
Barbara
we're like,
will not retire.
Exactly. So instead, we're like, okay, I guess we'll invest in magic cards.
Yeah. I'm going to go enjoy experiences with my friends at, like, concerts.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get treats and things. And then, the olds are, like, shaking their fist, being like, millennials ruin everything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how could I? Where? What?
I'm a little guy.
Yeah. And then Jed Zed's going to come up behind me and just be like, you're cringe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're cringe. You're afraid of hugs.
You're afraid of
Shut up. I'm sorry I have unrepentant joy and you're too afraid to hug. That's me being mean. I'm so sorry. It's like, you're afraid to ask for an extra packet of ketchup. Like, I don't want to hear this from you. But yeah, there's tons of nuance that could happen there if you so desire. Or you could play a little guy with too many legs.
Yeah.
And they're all his legs. I will, make a note. Sorry about my language. It is noted in the text that just because the Tzimisce is covetous and is like, is mine, Gib.
Mm-hmm.
Gib, take. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll take good care of it.
Again, kind of like dragons.
Yeah, so you get some who are very precious and very precise about how their things are kept and managed, which could be its own form of horror. And then you have others that get very hoarder-esque, where they just have it and they just are not well about, they're like, I have to have this, and if you had all tried to be like, hey, maybe you should, like, tidy up, and they're like, those are my magazines.
Yeah.
I collected them all from the 60s, and if you touch them ever again, I will fucking kill you and turn you into a lampshade. And you're just like,
see that lampshade?
Last guy that touched my magazines.
I'll turn it around. Sorry, he had corner time for the past 10 years.
Corner time. Holy shit!
There's a face on one side.
And he's just like, I forgot the world was bigger. I've been having corner time for so long. I've only heard things. It's like the fucking the Play-Doh thing about the shadows on the walls of the cave, except it was noise. Because I am the lamp. I have the light.
My brain is not working, and I was just picturing like the toy Play-Doh for far too long. The Play-Doh thing? What are you talking? Oh, Plato.
Plato, yeah, the Greek guy. Yeah.
Like Plato, but you know.
But I might be getting my ancient Greek guys mixed up. Anyways, other gigantic thing with this clan, they are freaky little bitches.
Yup.
Freaky little bitches. This can be positive and negative. Just be careful, please. Since the societal standards are beneath them, the Tzimisce tend to get a little weird with it.
I love it.
I think that is usually an understatement.
I'm understating that so hard.
Yeah.
This can range from wild moralities, interests of the taboo, body modifications that become very alien and extreme, and so many more. Again, imagination. Go nuts. Have fun.
As far as physical, like, body look and weirdness goes, you kind of, especially if you have, like, you get into the vicissitude side of things, you can kind of go wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah! And if you decide to not go that way, there is tons of other just, like, freaky things you can do. Like behaviors and interests, and you could just be pinning people like their buggies for your display cases.
Yeah.
There's tons of things you could do where you just go, oh, huh. When I'm
this is the ghoul that I've been dissecting, but I keep him well fed, so he's still alive. But I just wanted to see how it all works, so it's kind of laid out across this table.
That guy over there, only bisected.
Yeah, just the once.
Yeah, so you can go lots of different ways for this. A lot of people go very Cenobite-y because once you're free from the constraints of social like expectations and wants and desires, you can go beyond morality. For good or ill.
It can be very interesting. It can also be very like, ugh.
Yeah. Some Tzimisce will seek out sensations and experiences to collect and or study, either in an academic or spiritual lens. So some Tzimisce might just be like, okay, well, we live in this land where there's all these new things the humans are doing, and I want to experience some of this. So some of them might just go out and eat a lot of people food.
Just vomit it
up
later.
Vomiting constantly. Other ones are just like, well, I wanted to find out if the humans sound different when they are hit with different cars. So I bought this electric car, and I bought this hybrid, and I have this diesel car, and I'm going to just hit him with it, fix his bones, recalibrate, and then hit him with the other car. I wanted to see if they made different noises.
We have to use the same dummy, of course.
Yes. Or you can get into, like, well, I wanted to see if I thought I have experienced all the forms of pain that could ever exist. I wanted to know if I'm able to transfer my experience of pain to you and see how you feel. Because I know where every one of your nerves are.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I don't want any of that. And they're like, why? I'm giving you a gift.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. So that could go in a lot of different ways. And I do want to give the note, because in a lot of the text, it gets very kink, very BDSM-y, which is totally fine and good. The cool thing with kink and BDSM, it is absolutely safe to participate in with consenting adults who know what they're getting into, so they need fully informed, enthusiastic consent.
Yes.
Then it is super healthy and safe and can even be cathartic for people for various reasons. I'm not going to get into the nuances of that discussion, but I have to say it. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of things in culture that will see something kind of kinky and go, clearly that's bad and evil, and this is how I'm demonstrating the character is bad and evil. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But you're also in a space where this can go very bad very quickly.
Yeah.
So, consent check-ins, please, with your players at a session 0, and as those things come up in your game, please, thank you kindly.
Mm-hmm.
Huzzah!
Hey.
A!
I said yay, but A works too.
Yo.
I said A, or I said yay, not A. Get it right.
I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm sorry I failed you. What's not going to fail, though, is the drip.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite things to do with Tzimisce is the vibe, the drip, the fashion.
Even when it's not good, at least they're trying.
Dude, they are putting their whole bussy that they crafted as an aftermarket bussy. The whole thing.
On their throat.
All 4 of them. So, kind of clothing and aesthetic things I kind of recommend for people that really want to dig into the clan is old world fashion TM. So it's very, like furs and brocades and heavy fabrics, a lot of gothic opulence, Slavcore, things from like Imperial Russia, avant-garde high fashions, fetish gear, leather, lace, latex, industrial fashion, like Soviet military surplus, restrictive clothing and accessories, body modifications, various traditional shamanic dress, and I would say even like modern primitivism or various kind of indigenous clothings and fashions, depending on where the character's from. Dark academia. Honestly, the world is your oyster, just kind of whatever your character decides to do, they need to own it. That is them, that is their thing.
And they do not give a fuck what you think.
And go full hog with it.
Mm-hmm.
The full hog, the full cat's meow.
Meow.
I just think there's this kind of a fun place where you can just go like, oh, I can go. I was like, yeah, if you want to go full Parish Fashion Week, girly pop, please.
And that is everyday attire for them.
Yes. Yeah, and it's super fun. It's like a lot of Eastern Europe, Central Asian kind of steppe fashion, if you kind of want to like look into those cultures as well. Tons of cool stuff. Also, it's a lot of fun color and like embroidery, and it's hell yeah, super fun. Go at it. So these, for our friends, are known as the Dragons, the Stokers, the Voivods, the Fleshcrafters, the Shapers, the Fiends, or the Old Clan. Strap in, kids. We're going into the Tzimisce.
Here we go!
So, dealing with the in-clan behavior is one of the biggest things that everyone knows about, and it's something that you're going to interact with, even if you're not a Tzimisce, but you're interacting with one, is the hospitality.
Get it right.
Please. Please.
For your own sake.
So, the hospitality rules tend to be rather archaic, but they're critical to understand when interacting with, especially within the Haven. So if you're going to Tzimisce's place, you gotta mind your P's and your Q's.
Yeah.
Please. I'm pausing for silence for the dramatic effect to hopefully add the weight of this is important. So here we are.
Fucking do it.
I hope the truncate silence process I use for a podcast to cut out blank space doesn't
fuck that up.
Underwrite your long pause. But
damn it.
It'll be really funny if it did.
Yeah, that's okay. It happens.
Just pause the podcast for like 6 seconds and let what Sarah said sink in, and then come back to us.
Damn, I'm sorry, my dude.
So it's funny.
Basically, the guest-host relationship that is happening in this dance of hospitality, if you will, is designed to not endanger either party, which will hopefully prevent another brutal war happening internally with the Tzimisce, or any potential ally that they might be courting. It's just like, okay. The hospitality rules of engagement is as much for your safety as it is for the host.
Yeah.
It's kind of like acclimating two cats and you have a door between them. And they're just like bapping at each other under the door.
Yeah, yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I think that, like, not only is it just like that kind of reflects the time period and the like area of the earth that they are from, the cultures that they are from.
Yes.
But also, like, God damn it, my brain did the thing.
Lost the... Well, it's Vampire the Masquerade vampires are very akin to like Skeksis from the Dark Crystal, and I feel like the Tzimisce really tap into that, where they dislike each other, they're really catty, and they're constantly like, I will do these terrible things to you, but they're fucking cowards. So when it comes time to do it, they're like, no, please don't. Don't hit me.
Don't hit me.
Don't hit me, but I will destroy you, Batman. I know I changed franchise halfway through that.
Yeah,
but,
well, it happens.
you know,
It happens.
We're just having fun.
having fun with it. But yeah, it's very like in that. This is a good example of like they're trying. They're trying to make it work.
Right.
And also, yeah, I thought that it's a good sequence in game for characters to kind of really get into the universe where they're like, okay, before we go to this guy's house, I need you to understand. We have to do X, Y, and Z. We have to do it in the specific order. If he gives you anything to eat or drink, you just take it.
Take a couple nibbles and then hold it down.
Yeah, it's like going to Grandma and Grandpa's house, and Grandma and Grandpa are a little problematic. So you're just like, look, you only can sit on the sofa that's got the plastic coverings. And I know Grandpa's gonna go talk about politics. You're just gonna smile and nod. I know he's gonna say wild shit about people that haven't existed for a long time. And you're gonna have no idea what he's going on about. Just smile and nod.
Just go, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't say okay too much. You might agree to something.
Yeah.
Listen to what they're saying. Don't agree to anything. But you can say, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
Like, I you know what? She is a bitch. You're right.
They'll like you more, trust me.
Yeah. So for older Tzimisce, they tend to take these practices more seriously than the younger Tzimisce, so this does cause some conflicts. Because the older ones are like, you know, Grandpa with like this is the way things are done, and the youngers are like, I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Come on, just let me come
Let's
over,
do
Grandpa.
that bad.
I can't afford another present.
Just like, buddy, I'm broke. 'Cause you won't give me anything.
I feel like they got to at some point have an agreement where it's like, listen, I have invited you over here weekly for a year now. I don't think you have to give a gift anymore.
No, I think that a lot of the time it's like dropping in, you bring a gift. The first time, maybe the second time you bring a gift, especially if you're there to ask something. You know what I mean?
Well, if
think
you're...
like almost like Godfather-y. Like you're going there and you've got to be like, hey, if you're asking for something, you kind of have to be like, hey.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that side of it. And then there might be depending on the Tzimisce you're visiting, if it is a regular thing, if you stop bringing a gift, that might entice the character to be like, what, are you not doing well?
Yeah.
I have invited you into my haven. I have accepted you as part of my like social circle. If you are not doing well, that reflects on me.
Right.
What is wrong? Are you broke?
We can fix this.
It's like the vampire equivalent of Nona being like, you're so skinny. Have you not been eating? You know, it's like that. And you're just like, fuck, I can't win.
Super old ones might even actually take insult too if you don't bring it every single time. Because it could be like, oh,
I offend you?
Yeah, did I offend you? Have you become so accustomed that like...
Do you think you're entitled to this?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of ways it can go. But...
Good stuff.
Yeah. Tzimisce's honor rests upon their ability to uphold these practices. Infractions can take years of effort to atone for on either side. So yeah, if it's expected you bring some sort of tithe or gift or whatever, if you stop doing that, that could be seen as some sort of besmirch straight out of the start of that interaction, and you're just like,
I forgot it in the car. I'll go get it. I'm sorry.
I can't believe you would forget. And then they're just not going to shut up about that for years. It's like, what, did you forget the gift in the car again? I can't believe you. Don't you forget this time? Do I not matter to you? These rules
Petty.
will slightly shift from Tzimisce to Tzimisce depending on their temperament and cultural background, but it comes with a handful of generally expected guidelines that everybody kind of follows along with. And these go, if you are the host, you're expected to shelter and nourish the guests for 3 days and 3 nights, not counting the night of arrival. So that's night 1, which I still find it funny in the Robert Eggers Notes for Atu when he goes, you have 3 nights to make decision. This is the first night. And people are like, that's not fair. And I'm like, that's it, baby. That's classic TM.
Yep.
I was like, okay, homie might be in the know. Robert Eggers might play VTL.
Please.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Or knows the myth that this
like
is
the
originally
mythos
based
and things.
off.
Yeah. So other obligations of the host is protection against third-party aggressors against the guest, and access to the best chambers of the haven, up to and including the host's own bed. So you might end up in a freaky situation where you're like, I'm day sleeping where now? Yes,
Here.
no, I've prepared my chambers for you. And you're like,
oh no, what does that mean?
Oh, what does that mean? Which could be a prime opportunity for your character to snoop and get all sorts of intel, but also could be a very bad
Yeah, if you get caught.
Mm-hmm.
Fucked.
So much drama. And the last little obligation of the host is pause on all feuds during the length of the visit. So if you and the host are having beef and you come in for a hospitable visit, they have to not be a dick for a few days.
For a few days.
Well, they can be a dick. They just have to put up with you.
They can't escalate the feud.
Yes.
So, good news.
They can still be rude.
Oh yeah, they can just be like, you came into my house wearing that?
Okay.
The Tzimisce employee is so catty. Jesus Christ.
Of course I'll feed you. There's some sick chickens in the back.
Well, that might be a slight, too, though, because it
Yeah.
is expected that they give the best they can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's more of an insult on them. If they
Yeah,
that's fair.
That might be an escalation.
Mm-hmm.
As a guest, you're expected to do a ritual exchange of gifts or services. This can either be at arriving, at departing,
both.
that's vague. But you're expected to do some sort of exchange to show yes, I appreciate you hosting me. Here is a unit of something.
Thing. Yeah. Depending on the Tzimisce, it really doesn't matter what.
Mm-hmm.
You could literally be like, "Oh, hey, I got this rock. It's a pretty cool rock that I found."
It's a rock from my homeland.
Yeah, you say homeland, and they're like, "Okay, cool."
I appreciate this treasure.
Yeah.
It's literally like a chunk of cement you stole from the park.
Omaha, you say?
What does this land of Omaha tell me of its wonders? And then you just got Grandpa going. Other obligations of the guest is to respect the host's boundaries and property. So if you're in the Haven and they're like, yes, you are welcome to stay in the grand room and don't open that door. Don't even look at it. Don't even think about it. Don't worry.
That wall goes from there to there.
Yeah. And that's going to be so tempting for players because they're going to be like, what's behind that? What's behind that? Don't open it. Don't.
But I want to know. No, you don't.
No. What, do you want to know about the friends chamber?
The what?
Well, I told you not to think about it, but I guess we're friends now. So
I'll show you.
I'll show you. Ah! No! Scary time.
Now you're part of the friend chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, now you are part of Wall. Good thing you have strong core. And also, you're not to outstay your welcome.
No.
So if you get to the end of the third night, third day, and you need more time, you need to that is
It's a negotiation at that point.
Or you leave for a short time and come back with another gift and start over.
Yeah.
You got two options. Do not just feel like, oh yeah, well, we're buddies, I can just keep staying. It's like,
Nope.
no one is
And
going to
you
lose
need to
your
double
mind.
check on those negotiations too,
Mm-hmm.
because agreements like that can be tricky.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So double check and make sure you know the time frame you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. And the final expectation of the guest is to avoid angering the host and their family.
Also, could be difficult.
Because a lot of the Tzimisce, especially the older, they're going to have like a weird revenant family around that are going to be also freaky and
Strange
to things. And you're just going to be like, I don't like this guy.
Yep.
And then, guy's going to be like, hey, Grandpa, heard him talking shit.
You what?
Yes, no, I understand. Cousin Vinny is annoying, but he's family. How dare you say that about the Gregor? He's doing his best. I know he's a bit of a fuck up, but I can say that.
He was one of my first works.
Oh no. Oh, other cultural thing. The Tzimisce are basically structured isolationists is kind of the best way to put it. They used to have a more formalized cult, in-clan organization, but after the first Anarch revolts, they just went, nope.
What's the point?
What's the point?
I assume we'll talk about that more next episode.
Little bit. I don't talk about it too much, because it's like...
Anarch Revolt is thick.
Yeah, it's one of those...
Could be its own episode things.
Yeah, it's definitely if people are interested in having more of a Dark Ages setting info for V5, I'd be more inclined to talk about it then. But yeah, there's so much, and there's also so much going on with the Anarch Revolts and the Omen Wars and Jesus Christ. So
it's a thick boy.
Thick. So, the clan, because they've given up the formal structure, they have this kind of informal, loose network of understanding and respect amongst each other.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very word of mouth, code of honor kind of a thing amongst each other, and social status.
Yeah.
But it has histories with centuries of tradition behind it, so it's got fucking weight.
Yep.
as I think kind of opposed to the Toreador, who do a lot of the social standing things, but that feels a little bit more like Mean Girls in High School movie.
They're constantly trying to keep up with trends or start trends or whatever, where the Tzimisce are like, trend? No, I will just build what I'm going to do out of stone so it never changes.
We have been doing this for thousands of years.
Yeah.
I have built my reputation brick by brick.
Literally.
So, the Tzimisce's intense solidarity is also compounded with their deep-seated need to have a nexus of control immediately around them. Mm-hmm. So this is where you get the concept of the Zadruga, which is the family unit of a specific ruler that lives under strict familial bonds. This can include living descendants, revenants, and childer.
Okay.
Yeah. So most Tzimisce will have like their little group that they've like, you know, this is mine. This is my family. These are my people. Some people will be like stuck in somebody else's Zadruga. If you get close enough in a coterie, they might be like, you're part of my Zadruga. And when you say that, they're just like, what? I'm a what now?
Huh?
Like, we're buddies. No, like, yes, buddies. Excellent.
You are my buddy.
Yes. Is that what we call it now? I don't understand these times. So, while they may be extremely petty and scheming, they do respect creative works of each other as kind of like a bird showing off plumage kind of a way. They're like, I hate you. I hate your gods. We have been rivals for centuries. Good job on the Cape. It's like they will recognize each other's works and craftsmanship. I saw the paper that you wrote about the new path of enlightenment that you've been writing. Very interesting. We can talk about that. Mm-hmm. We're hosting it at your place. We didn't mind last time. We don't mind the last 3 times. I hate you.
I hate you.
I'll bring a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very like, what?
The bringing of gifts between Tzimisce can be a whole ass thing, too, because it can absolutely be like, I'm going to bring the most opulent, amazing thing I possibly can, because then when they come to me and they can't match it, I can rub it in their fucking face.
There's that, and then it could also just be like, here's this ghoul I made. Check out, like, almost showing off, like,
yeah,
I made this weird freak. Here you go.
Let's explore his features.
Oh.
I'm like, what?
I don't like that.
It's like, I've gotten into the YouTube. Clearly I can't publish, but I have hours of video that I have put together. Because I like showing off. I don't know who this character is. Oh my God. But with the Tzimisce, they have what is called the Zulo, which is also known as the Horrid form. Mm-hmm. And is a large, monstrous, near war form figure that a Tzimisce can transform themselves into. So it's kind of akin to the Krynos for werewolf.
Esque, yeah.
Not quite as beefy with rage. I think the Krynos still would win, but depending on how powerful the Tzimisce is, they might give them a run for their money. Mm-hmm. Which is terrifying. Mm-hmm. And the shape and the power of this form, you also have fun. Go nuts.
You can be a Shoggoth if you feel like it.
You can be a Shoggoth. You can have a big old scorpion tail.
Mm-hmm.
You
a mantis person.
Make yourself beefy as fuck to be like, oh, the werewolves think they can do this. Fuck you. I'm gonna do it better.
I'm literally muscle. I don't have bones anymore.
Seeing a Tzimisce try and make a werewolf would be terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Lots of abominations. I keep trying, but then it gets sad and offs itself.
Not even an abomination, just like, okay, I know what a werewolf is like. Let's just remake that. Like, just the werewolf part. It doesn't need to change back.
You will be a Krynos now.
You are a war form. There's no other form.
I am training up this human so that I can ghoul it and then take the bits from this ghoul and apply it to the war form guy I am building. I had to put so much creatine in him.
That's just water. I mean, it's useful, but it just stores water in the muscle. It's not doing it. It's not like
him beefier.
It's not HGH.
He's bigger.
It's bigger. Sarah does not know things about actually building bonding mass, so I ruined my own joke. It's fine.
No, I imagine the very old Tzimisce would be like, I hear it makes them bigger.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like I'm not quite caught up on the new science.
But he has been eating only creatine for a year.
Oh no.
And blood.
And yes, of course. And
well, yeah, I bleed into the goblet, and then I put in a couple of scoops of protein powder and creatine, and then I shake it up for him.
I mean, a ghoul. If someone is ghouled, they don't need to eat again until they get unghouled, right?
No, they still have to eat.
They still have to eat. They can just go longer without. Really?
No.
I always assumed a ghoul didn't have to, or at least not as much.
No.
Interesting discovery.
Yeah.
Interesting discovery.
That's where I was
Hunter.
going wrong.
Hunter, is there a closet full of emaciated ghouls in this house I don't know about?
I mean, there's a lot of closets.
There are a lot of closets.
Quite a few. I've never opened
We're
that one.
gonna...
That one's mostly boxes.
You're such a millennial.
Well, it's boxes for like all my synthesizers. I kept in my guitar pedals. I kept the original boxes, mainly because if I decide to sell them, that like doubles the price because music guys are dorks.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, I got the box. Here's an extra $150. Cool.
Thanks, man.
And that's how I buy new pedals. Is I sell the ones that I've just been looking at forever and say, well, that's back in the box. It's like new.
Amazing.
It's true.
Standing within the clan comes from a combination of power, heritage, and respect, craftsmanship, as well as whatever connections you have built with a vernaculum.
Yeah.
Because Sabat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a position of authority within the clan is known as the Zupans. So it's kind of like a babushka. Or like a work mom. It's the best way to kind of explain it. This is somebody who is able to act as an advisor to the youngers as well as those people that have like less respect and authority. And their advice doesn't have to be followed, but if you don't, it's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if Bushra comes up and is telling you to do a thing and then you go, everyone's gonna be like, wait, you didn't listen to Babushka? That's crazy.
Well, whatever happens to you, you deserve it at that
Like,
point.
did you listen to her? Like, I don't know what to do. It's gambling with your life, my dude. Okay. It's like, I know wearing the amulet seems silly, but fucking Zupan Babushka said to fucking do it. So
You probably should.
Just, what harm is it if you don't? Like, just put it on. It's fine. It will make her happy.
And at the very least, that is a good thing.
Yes. So to become a Zupan, you have to have awakened your Zulo form, which is basically unlocking the 4th level of vicissitude, which good news is consistent.
All the way
across the board. So good news. You also need to have 1 level of thaumaturgy. I'm going to be a little tricky.
That means you gotta
Learn.
do something.
You gotta do something. And you also have to demonstrate loyalty to the clan and sect, which is typically the Sabbat.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you gotta have good honor rating. Gotta reclaim your power that's been stolen from the goddamn Tremere because they know what they did.
Fuck them.
Yeah, but if, say, you were a group of Tzimisce in the Camarilla, you would just have to demonstrate loyalty to the Camarilla or the Anarchs. It just depends on what your
Yeah.
your little bloodline or whoever
and
you're hanging
you
out
could
with.
be an Artarchus Tzimisce, and it's like, no, I've got respect amongst the independents.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of different ways you can gain those.
I killed
titles
one of
them.
every group.
I think it's kind of cool, the idea of like an Autarchus Zupan that's just like, you know, I've gained respect from everybody around here, and I'm the weird old man on the mountain that people come to, regardless of who they are, to be like, okay, what the fuck is going on? What do I need to do here? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's like I don't understand the spooky shit.
Mechanically, you just like take status, like 3 dots from each sect.
Yeah.
Doop.
Yeah, just like hi. It was like I don't understand this. Like, oh, this is excellent. Thank you. This weird grandpa that lives on the mountain.
Yeah.
In modern nights, the clan has continued its centuries of internal squabbling. Shocking.
Surprise.
No one. Those who have remained loyal to Sabbat uphold the Black Hand and seek to destroy any who align with the Camarilla or the Anarchs. So, Tzimisce Classic, TM.
Yeah.
Many of the younger Tzimisce have found home within the Second Anarch Revolts, within the transformative potential of the movement. And also, they can't get any land because the elders won't fuck off. So, you know, being in the Anarch movement goes, oh,
I wonder what that's like.
yeah. Oh, we cleared this castle of its formal tyrannical leaders. Huzzah, my friends, high fives. What if I just took it over?
I'll just stay here. You guys go ahead, go to the next castle.
Yeah, I'll maintain the fort here because, you know, I actually understand the things that are happening here and I can make sure we have a solid base of operations.
Exactly.
Nothing else is happening.
You don't have to come back and check up on me.
I'll send you status reports.
Yep.
Next time you guys come back, I need a present, though. And the cycle continues.
Bring me back something cool, okay?
Oh. I'm really into Sleep Token now. Those older Tzimisce who have remained neutral-ish within the Sabbat, because there's a lot of characters in the canon. They're like, yeah, I'm in the Sabbat, but they're like not really doing anything. They're basically independents.
They're like, I'm in the Sabbat because fuck the Kamen Anarchs.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where they are.
Yeah, which that happens. That's okay. And so they have this like pseudo-autarchist status. A lot of those have been clinging to their feudal lands and have titles, or have boldly stepped into the Camarilla as the tower has doubled down on its elitism. So now you got a bunch of olds, like the few that have survived, and they're just like, oh, the babies get it now. Excellent. Hello, let me teach you our ways.
I don't like that you pulled your sleeves up when you said that.
Yeah, just excited, like medieval grandpa that is like, we're going back to feudal times. Excellent.
I've been waiting for you to get it.
Plus, the fracturing of the pyramid and the loss of the prime chantry is very funny. And some of them just want a front row seat to watch that mess.
It is really, really funny.
They're just like, I fucking hate the Camarilla. I hate everything it stands for. But if I play my cards right, I can watch them eat shit. And this is so funny.
Worth it.
And we love that here. Another facet of the Tzimisce that I wish more people would lean into, because I think it's neat, is them being known as like wise spiritual leaders of sorts. That's where we get the term of the Voivode, which used to be like the head of the clan. Now it's kind of more seen as like figureheads of the clan.
Mm-hmm.
This position doesn't really hold any serious political power, but they act more as like spiritual leaders, guides. They head a lot of clan rites and rituals. It's like Babushka Advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Babushka Plus. Babushka Platinum. The position is hotly contested within the leadership of the clan, though it is really a combat direct situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Skeksis where they're like, no, I am in charge. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
It can come to blows.
Oftentimes, if it does, it's a problem.
Yeah, because they got to bust out the Zulo forms
Mm-hmm.
and fight to either death or submission.
Yeah, I like that they're like the Skeksis until they're not.
Yeah.
Until it is like, okay, we are going to fight them.
And then everyone remembers, oh yeah, the Tzimisce are also warriors. Fuck.
Yeah. We forgot about that.
We forgot.
They
You're
talk a
being
lot of shit.
freaky little guy with too many legs. And then,
And then all those legs are swords. What?
and they're all kicking my ass. Shit. The sign of somebody being of a void is a flesh-crafted cape made out of the skin of at least 3 Tremere.
Cool. I'm in.
All right.
Figured you would be.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I wanted to have a really fancy cape, so I had to kill a lot of Tremere because I needed the tattoos.
Yes.
It's
very difficult to get a floral pattern when you make it of Tremere.
Because they're fucking nerds, and if any of them get tattoos, it's usually weird alchemical sigils, or a lot of them got weird quotes. There's just fucking,
Yeah.
bad time.
Bad time.
In more recent nights, the Voivode, has fallen out of major use as, like, the clan leader, and it's just big figureheads of the region.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're dealing with really old Tzimisce, they might be like, yeah, the Voivode. The one. And then there's others that are like, oh yeah, no, I'll go talk to the Voivode, and it's like the guy who just happens to be in charge of
This area.
I was gonna say like Georgia.
Georgia.
I just a region.
Yeah.
Just a region of sorts. Within the Sabbat, the Tzimisce acts as religious leaders crafting the paths of enlightenment, and the majority of the Rite, guiding those within the sect on their paths as pact priests or presi.
Mm-hmm.
So, all of the various paths of enlightenment that we have in the game, most of them are the Tzimisce's fault. Because they've transcended the moral codes of humanity and have to literally craft other ways.
Yeah. They have to figure out what they're going to do, because they're like, well, that's not it, so...
What do I do with my hands? And then these other hands. What do I do with your hands? What are hands?
Let me borrow those hands.
How much can I change this before it's not the hand anymore? What is quintessentially a hand?
What is a hand? If I fuse it, it becomes a flipper.
Is it the thumb? Is that what makes it a hand?
Yes.
Guess there'd be without a. If you remove the thumb, it could be seen as a foot.
Well, your foot still kind of technically has a thumb because that's what the big toe is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the.
But if somebody loses their thumb,
They still have a hand.
Yeah, because like when somebody loses a thumb, we don't go, "That's not a hand anymore."
Right.
That's true.
So, damn, they got us.
Yep. Tzimisce
I think it's
again.
the amount of knuckles.
Think so?
My toe only really bends in like one spot. This has like
It bends in two. Your toes.
yeah. This bends in like 3.
Oh God! Don't get the grippers
Okay,
out.
so 1,
The dogs
2.
are out.
Okay, 1, 2. My. So my big toe only has 2 joints.
Yes.
The rest of my toes have 3.
Okay.
Is that normal? Do you have
But
2
your thumb also has 2.
joints? 1, 2, 3. I guess that's not really a joint.
That's a knuckle. It's still a joint.
Yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
if it counts
goddamn,
as
we
a-
gotta get.
All right.
The script is thick. We gotta get back on track. Jesus Christ. The Tzimisce tend to be more learned end of the Sabbat, many being academics of history and or religion. Those who delve into flesh crafting specifically focus on cutting-edge various fields of science, especially biology and psychology.
Mm-hmm.
So you can run the gamut of little creepy guy who is just old as fuck and just like, I am a learned man, a scholar of history and faith, and then you can have the new guy that's just very Herbert West.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm gonna keep injecting it. Hey, no, I've gone beyond death. You don't understand.
I can literally make him die and come back with my face
And then your
my
face.
hands. And then your face.
You know. It's a good time here. Aloofness is kind of a little bit of a problem that the Tzimisce have in interacting with other clans.
Mm-hmm.
It's fairly common for them to believe that the antediluvians of the other clans basically failed the test of transcending morality and mortality because they're still really hung up on that pesky humanity thing.
Yeah. Bummer for them.
Mm-hmm. It's like, damn, you had so much potential.
Just try harder.
Yeah. So you can kind of gauge how you want in character to like how your Tzimisce feels about the various clans based on that, because, you know, you have the Toreador and the Bruja who are like really attached to their humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like the La Sombra who are like kind of not. Kind of not. They really like the spooky, ooky, abyss shadow thing. So they might be like, this is cousin.
You came so close.
You're
So
so
close. Your hand's on the door.
You're
just turn the knob.
walking into the door.
Yeah.
Just very slowly. Why do you care so much about politics? It's crazy. Which is weird coming from the Tzimisce.
Right.
But yeah, they also will detest being told what to do, especially within their own lands and havens, which makes, you know, the beef with the Camarilla kind of a
thing.
Mm-hmm. And if you have a Tzimisce that's trying to like hide in the Camarilla for whatever reasons, they're gonna be like, there's like rules, and they're like, rules. Ugh.
This is my house.
Yeah. I understand they'll behave at court. You're being a good host.
Yeah.
But we're in my realm now.
I will do as I please.
Also, fuck the Tremere in particular. You know what they did.
Yep.
And that's all we're going to say about that. We're going to move on. We've done the Tremere episodes. You can go back if for some reason you forgot or don't know.
Or just haven't heard those yet.
Yeah.
Or listen to them again. Get our numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
Leave them on while you sleep. Leave them on while you sleep. Leave them on while you sleep.
That's insane. You know what's also insane, lads? Torture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn it.
I guess you could leave it on while someone else sleeps as torture.
Yeah.
Not our beautiful voices.
No.
It'd be so pleasant for them.
Mm-hmm. It might be torturous once you turn it off.
Oh no. Anywho, there is a culture around torture within the clan. It is viewed as a craft just as valid as any other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to be a dick. It's literally in the text. There are specific sections, especially of the original Clan Book Tzimisce, that goes into this in detail.
Yep.
So because the publishers put this out, I have to talk about it.
Yep.
Please bear with me. So prior to V5, many within the Tzimisce did not have ready access to dominate.
You got to get the truth out of them somehow.
Yeah. So how else is a ruler to keep a grip on their holdings other than fear?
Yeah.
That's a big thing for them. They're like, I rule through this terrifying reign of terror that I have brought upon the land. And it's pretty cool, guys, let me tell you. And you're like, I don't know if that's as cool as you think it is, bud.
But watch. Do this.
Look, he pisses himself just a little. It's great. That's how I know that the job is going to get done.
That's how I know. He's on his way now, see?
I don't know how you pointed at me, but
Just the little piss boy.
oh man.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
You walked right into that.
Man.
He
I'm
sounds
not
so
having a good day.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to.
It's fine.
You're the editor. You could just cut this out.
Good, yeah.
Are you gonna?
I can do the work.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
volunteered to too.
Poor boy.
I feel bad now. So, in terms of the torture,
Yeah.
there are those who prefer to lean into physical torture through traditional, supernatural, or a combination of the two. This will include dismemberment, pain, realigning bones and joints, and various other implements.
Or replacing bits.
Yeah, or just like, I've gotten good enough at flesh crafting, I can just turn your nerves on and off and calibrate them. Like a theremin, really?
Actually, when I thought about that, I actually made one. Pulls out a human theremin.
It's just crying.
Just screams at different pitches.
It's just crying and begging for you to kill it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a bad time. Others prefer to use psychological torture, both traditional and pushed further by supernatural means. This can be done through methods such as sleep deprivation, blood bond abuse, blackmail, and many others.
Yeah.
Lada Tzimisce will use a combination of both, physical and psychological, to create elaborate effects.
Yeah. It's kind of rough.
Yeah, shocking no one, this is a very intense subject. It is completely valid to fade to black for these kinds of scenes, or use what I like to call the 7 method, which is you're editing around the worst of the horrors because the camera is focused on the character reacting to the fucked up thing, but you're not actually describing the fucked up thing.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 methods where if this has to come up in your game for whatever reason, I recommend.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't want to go into the graphic details. Some people like those details, please have the consent to talk. And also, make sure you're covering these things so everyone knows that torture is, in fact, bad.
You should get stains for doing it.
Yes. Yes, probably multiple. Other characters who think that the torture is cool might just get ancillary stains.
Mm-hmm.
Torture's bad. It doesn't do what people says it does for getting information or being useful or any of that kind of shit. This is just a very gross thing that's bad.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to say it, but, considering I'm going to gesture to outside these trying times, I feel the need to reinforce it. So, session zeros and check-ins are vital when covering these subjects in game. For further references and people that want more information on these things, there is the torture section of the Second Inquisition book that goes into detail about the moral and socio-political implications of torture and how to calibrate these things, and then some examples of the Second Inquisition torturing vampires if you want to give those to your Tzimisce, I guess, to be creative.
Look, I don't want to copy someone else's work.
Well, for some Tzimisce, these might be new and innovative things that they want to explore.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Like a heat gun.
Yeah, among other things. Yeah. Also, if you go to the OG Tzimisce clan book, there is a section that is cordoned off in a box that talks about this torture culture that exists within the clan, within portions of it.
Yeah.
And it was written kind of in a character perspective on what torture is and how it works, and then also I think it's actually written really well to give that very inhuman alien understanding of these kind of stories and narratives, and I give it a lot of credit for that. Woof. Reading through it is a lot. It was a lot. It's not a fun time for my brain. So that's handle that at your table's comfort and maturity levels, but it's there.
Okay.
There might be reasons why portions of Clan Tzimisce are written to be very villain coded. Shocking, hopefully no one.
Wait, what?
What?
I just wanted to make a noise. It wasn't a good one. I tried.
Yeah. So, who gets embraced into the clan? The Tzimisce prefer to seek out those who have already taken strides to deviate from humanity. It's one of their favorite things to look for. So while they'll praise and prize unconventional thinking, they do not prize lunacy or dysfunction in the way that Malkavians do. So it's kind of the difference between a character who is mentally or emotionally unwell and they are wielding that unwellness for their benefit versus somebody who is like controlled by their mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the difference between a Hannibal Lecter versus like a Norman Bates, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So
one is consciously interacting with it and like purposefully interacting with it.
Yeah, so it's like sociopaths or psychopaths that are like aware of their dysfunction and they're like able to like manipulate people and that kind of thing would be more sought out as opposed to like a Patrick Bateman who's just going fucking nuts.
Right.
They're like, oh, there was potential there, but then, you know, he tried to feed that ATM a cat and useless.
Useless. Meanwhile, the Malkavians are like, come on, you're almost there, you're almost there, you're almost there, come on. Yes, okay, you got the cat in the ATM, let's go.
We really need to talk about your weird hang-ups on women, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's icky.
We're gonna have a conversation about it.
We need to have a lot of talks about that.
I like the cat work, though. It's good work.
Yeah, you should give the cat $1. The cat's done nothing wrong. There are some accounts of Tzimisce seeking to embrace mages, changelings, and or shifters, as opposed to just regular-ass humans, finding them to be too stagnant. They're like, I found these other mortal beings that have already gone through a great metamorphosis already. What if I pushed it further?
Kind of undoes that metamorphosis, though.
It changes. It's a different metamorphosis.
Yeah.
It's pursuing a different form of change.
Yeah.
What if I pushed it further?
But it kind of pushes them back to being a human and then into a vampire. They don't really keep any of their... Especially the mage is not going to keep... It would definitely kill the avatar.
Depending... Well, we'll get into this in the Tzimisce episode, but some of the Tzimisce believe that their progenitor was a mage that got embraced.
You mean in the history episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of them believe that that's like how they started, and they're just like, well, what if I did it again? I have this little bit of mage juice already in me. What if I just did it again? And it kind of like, you know, like Pope water hack? Where you get the jug of holy water from the Pope, and as long as you have like 51% of the jug when you cut it, it makes infinite. I can Bethesda no-clip Pope water. What if I did that? By embracing mages over and over again.
I'll embrace him, and then I'll tell him to embrace him.
Yeah. It's not
good.
It's not an unhealthy Ouroboros. I've got it on the chart. If I do this 16 times,
it might work.
I can break through.
Might?
It's crazy. It's crazy, dog. The Tzimisce prefer to wait for the appropriate time to perform what is called the creation rite. Because they're in the spot and they do creation rites as opposed to the embrace.
Mm-hmm.
Tzimisce abhor the 6 traditions of the Camarilla, particularly the progeny one. That one, for some reason, seems to be the one that pisses them off the most.
How fucking dare you tell me I can't make a baby?
And if they're...
when you phrase it like that.
Yeah. And they will not seek permission to ever embrace anybody, and they'll do it whenever they see fit.
Yep.
So that will be a point of contention in a game where the Camarilla and the Tzimisce interact.
Yep.
That's just going to be a problem. The Tzimisce also tend to... They'd rather withdraw and scheme as opposed to engage in direct combat if given the option. They'd rather play the 4D chess game.
Mm-hmm.
So they will choose to create ghouls of various sorts for physical labor, as opposed to wasting their precious vitae for the creation rite. So if they're given their optimal choice in resource management, they'd just rather like throw a bajillion ghouls at the problem. A ghoul, if you will.
A baghoul.
A baghoul of ghouls. But they're not above throwing their childer at a problem. It's just one of those, like, if they're getting to the point where they're throwing their childer at the problem, either they're so detached from humanity and their sense of self that they're, like, getting a little
Mm-hmm.
or the situation's super desperate.
Yeah.
So the odds of there being a Tzimisce who's embraced because of a panic is very low. Very, very, very low.
Well, yeah, because, like, you're not going to feel bad if you accidentally kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't care about your humanity. So why would you be like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. I got to make it better. Bring him back.
Yeah, that would be crazy. You're like, why would they?
Unless the panic was, they can't die, I own them, and then I would lose them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Many
That's
Tzimisce view the active embrace as a sign of ownership. Because it's my blood in your veins.
You are my child.
Yes.
I brought you into this world. I will take you out.
Full babushka wooden spoon. Some will cling to and dominate their progeny to shape them to their own will prior to the creation rite. Others will tend to them as like strict masters and teachers prior to and after the embrace. Most will view their childer as an extension of themselves and will find some strong opinion or attachment in one way or the other. And this is another part of the story where I'm going to put a small pause and be like, hey guys, some Tzimisce will spend a lot of time honing and crafting their perfect childer through revenant families, seeing them as more worthy than mere humans, on top of everything else I've said. So please, if you want to engage in these kind of stories, please do a consent check, because these can get very unhealthy and very toxic and abusive as relationship power dynamics, and you could have issues with bleed and all sorts of other things, because this may mirror people's actual, like, life traumas for various things. Even if, like, oh yeah, no, I had a good relationship with my family and relatives and partners and all that, but I had that one teacher that pushed me too hard. You've seen the movie Whiplash? Yeah, so, just do the check-ins, guys, because this can go sideways very quickly. So, woohoo. I'm sorry I keep having to do these stops on this clan. I'm so sorry.
They're intense.
It's intense.
I think that's the thing is, like, everything they do as far as they can possibly take it. And that can be for good, and that can be for very, very bad.
You could do very fun, creative things. You can explore a lot of really interesting nuance, like philosophical topics. This, because it's a world of darkness, it can also go very,
woo!
Oh no. Yeah. So, yeah, that's why we have these tools.
Yay!
So moving on to the bloodlines and subcultures of note. We're going to talk about old clan Tzimisce a little bit.
Cool.
Which is fun. I like them. They're fun. They're I want to say, they're as intense, but I feel like they're slightly less likely to fall into the problematic corners as some of the younger Tzimisce.
I would agree. So
if you want to play as Tzimisce and you want to, like, preemptively cut off some of those pitfalls that could happen, old clan Tzimisce might be a good start for you.
You also don't have to deal with the complexities of vicissitude. Like we talked in the last episode, you can, like, which that's part of the reason why I wouldn't let a new player. You can just have them leave vicissitude to the side. Your old clan. Yeah! You're Dracula.
You're Dracula.
Oh, I'll get you, Dracula.
So, old clan Tzimisce, these are some of the oldest members of the clan that still walk around. Occasionally, one of these old fucks will make a childer, so if you want to do Vampire Classic, there is a route for you. These are those who did not join in the Sabbat during the first Anarch Revolts, nor did they partake in the arts of vicissitude.
They don't like it.
Yeah, no.
They're big no on vicissitude.
Big not into it. Those who have survived remained entrenched mostly in Eastern Europe, but due to some things we'll talk about later, you can kind of pop them in a couple other places if you so desire.
Put them wherever you want. It's your game.
Yeah, it's your game.
Put them anywhere you want, or even if you do want to say, oh, the old clan is all there, you could totally be that new childer that they sent out to the new world to go collect things and bring back. Yeah,
or that expeditious childer came out and then has crafted you to be somebody that they could eventually take back to the old country and explain to Grandpa how a VCR works. What is this magic box?
It speaks to me. Can I speak to it?
So the old clan viewed themselves as actually vampires, as opposed to the rest of the clan, which are puppets of the eldest and the demon Kupala, which is demonstrated by their corruption through the art of vicissitude.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, we are Vampire Classic. Fuck you. He's a born childer. They're lost.
I love it. I like the now I don't remember. I'd have to do more reading to remember for sure.
Yes.
But recently I have either remembered subconsciously reading or thought I like the idea that old clans specifically feel like vicissitude is the oldest or the eldest, and he's just kind of done the Malkavian thing.
Yeah.
Where he's kind of like, and I'm vicissitude. And it's essentially like those who practice it will eventually like lose themselves to it.
And also they have now become basically like a corruption portal for the eldest.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no.
I don't want that.
No, do not want. While vicissitude was noted as an extraterrestrial alien infection known as Soul Eaters, literally everyone hated that, so we're just yeet. We're not.
Yeah, fuck that.
Just the community and hated it so much.
That entire book is almost borderline non-canon now.
Yeah. So if you want to have characters who grab that stuff as like a wild conspiracy theory,
could be fun.
If that's how you want to run it at your table, I'm not going to say no, because some people for some reason like that, but almost everybody fucking hated that. And we have acknowledged it and we're moving past it. Blank Bodies Podcast, not into that.
We do not endorse.
We passed right over it, but I do find it more interesting for it to be like a curse from a demon.
Yeah.
Than an alien infection. Alien infection is weird and doesn't even really work in World of Darkness unless you get really into the
like technocracy and shit.
Yeah, like the technocracy and the stuff that even like only
You're
one
have to
part
go to,
of the
like,
technocracy.
The void engineers.
They're the only ones who ever really deal with actual aliens. Everything else, if you want aliens, just use changelings. So like,
and then the aliens then is like story concept entities that are just so bizarre your brain can't wrap around it fully. Then we just got the poor void engineers that are literally the guys who come up to you and go, "Moon's haunted," cocks a shotgun, and you're like, "What?" And they're like, "Moon haunted. Going back," and you're like, "Oh, okay,
have fun, be safe,
enjoy your rations, I guess."
I mean, I just looked up Kupala really quick, and they are a demon slumbering beneath Transylvania.
Yeah.
So it literally could just be the demons and the Tzimisce get into a fight. I own this. No, I own this land.
I talk about it a little bit in the next part of the history because I talk about Kupala Night.
Okay.
But it's also really tied in Coldonism, so John's going to talk about that a lot more in depth. So we got like little touchy now. I do little more touchy next episode, and then John do big touchy.
Yes, Kupala has a lot to do with Coldonism. There's also a lot of weird theories. We'll get into it. That Kupala, much like vicissitude, corrupted said magic.
Okay.
Because, there's, I don't know, World of Darkness is weird sometimes with their meta plots and magic systems because for some reason, at some point in the timeline, they decided to lean really Abrahamic and they're like, in fact, all demons are bad?
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Huh?
But the way you were selling it before, and they're like, nope, they're all evil. They're quintessentially evil. There's nothing you can do about it.
But the book here.
But this thing over here, I thought we were acknowledging that, like, all religions, like, kind of had a point.
I'm confused, friends.
That might just be me being a philosophical Satanist going like, wait, hold on. Hold on, what?
Also, I was kind of scrolling the page. We might just have to do a Kupala episode at some point. Because they also have a lot to do with the Tremere. It might have something to do with why the Tremere and the Tzimisce don't like each other partially.
Yeah.
Ties into that.
Yeah. A little behind the screen show note. So when I was doing the Tremere, I was aware of that. That is such a fucking side tangent and was going to break the format of like explaining the clan that I made the editorial choice to not talk about it. And I was like, I'll save it for the Tzimisce episode. Then we get to here. And these episodes are so goddamn beefy.
Yeah.
That I literally cannot find a place to talk about this in the like in-depth meta plot info in the way that it needs to be talked about. So I'm kind of making the editorial choice to we're gonna touch on it in here because it's so like integral to the clan, and we're gonna have a Kupala episode at some point because I have to. It's on the board.
Yep,
it's on the board now. When it's coming down the pipeline, I'm not sure.
Fair.
But it's on the board. So is like the Omen Wars. So is the in-depth on the Anarch Revolts. So is the Convention of Thorns. They're on the board as like canon event episodes that affect so much of the meta plot. I'm like, I can't talk about this within the context of the clan episode. There's too many players. There's too much shit happening.
To talk about one part of it, you have to talk about 6 other parts of it.
Yeah, and it would just become a fucking mess. And I am too riddled with ADHD to do that to you guys. Because I would be annoyed.
Super short version. Kupala, Earthbound Demon.
Yeah.
Touched a lot of Tzimisce.
Yep.
Touched quite a few Tremere too.
Yep. All in the downstairs regions.
Yep.
Oh no.
All in the downstairs business. So, sorry for that diatribe. Though, kind of side note that's fun with that is that there are rumors that some members of old Clan Tzimisce are actually immune to the vinculum. Or vinculum. I'm sorry, I can never say that word correct. I apologize. Regardless, they will send Childers, like, secret agents to infiltrate the Sabbat to basically, like fight the Tzimisce who do fucks with vicissitude.
Yeah.
So there's that internal squabble fight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, in some cases, there's a lot of paranoia within the Sabbat, because they're just like, well, we're being infiltrated by the Cam. We're being infiltrated by the old clan. The old clan might actually be immune to our magic shit. Fuck.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, when the Tzimisce did make a lot of the Rite, technically the Vinculum, or the Vauldery, which makes the Vinculum, is the Rite. There's a lot of, like, tie-in between that and Kaldunism and other, like, Tzimisce, like, blood magic-y stuff. So it's not surprising that they totally could have been like, yeah, it'll bind all you guys together. Not me. Not me at all.
It's the reverse of the Karna ritual.
Yeah.
Where she's involved regardless whether she wants there or not, and this time they're like, nope.
Yeah.
You ever like, you're kind of drunk and you don't want to do any more alcohol because you're kind of drunk, but your friends are like, we're doing shots, and you just like throw the shot over your shoulder and you're like, yeah, guys, I totally
done.
Man, that vodka burned. It's like that.
It's like when, or like when our one friend used to get too drunk and he'd really want to do shots, and we'd give him shots of water.
Yeah. Also, pro tip:
Yeah.
if you are at a party and you and your friends want to do shots, but you got friends that are already like too wasted, just give them water shots.
Yep.
They just like to participate.
They give them water shots or juice shots, because I've done like the mixed shots, so I'll just make the shot and just like, I'm just gonna give them extra juice and no liquor. Here's yours, buddy. It's just pomegranate juice.
Yeah. They
just want to be friends and hang out. Speaking of being friends and hanging out, the Aura Day League.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about the Ordea League pals hanging out.
They seem pretty cool.
The Ordea League's pretty cool, though.
They are, though.
It's pretty cool. So, this is a political sect that refused to bend to either the Camarilla or the Sabbat. Back in ye olde medieval times, there was just a bunch of the Tzimisce who were lords of the land, feudal lords, and they just went, nah, I don't think so.
I'll just do me.
Me and my homies over here.
We'll do us.
We're rocking our own shit over here.
Everyone else got really worked up and picked sides, and they're like, no.
But
you guys can do whatever you want over there, but I'm here.
Me and my homies were doing our own thing over here.
Yep.
So this allegiance of the old clan Tzimisce elders ruled over their domains, ranging from Romania to Russia.
It's a lot of space.
Yeah. So this alliance focused on protecting its rulers and defending against threats in their domains. So this was like the big organizational force of Tzimisce that basically fought against the lupines and other vampires constantly.
Yeah.
That was just kind of their thing.
Yep. They did good.
They did.
They are kind of still doing good.
Yeah.
Some of them.
It's getting better.
Yeah.
Strap in. These political courts tend to be more of a feudal structure along with a medieval, like, honor code. So, you have your lord and then your liege lords and your knights, and it's a very old-timey court kind of a thing. So if you like a Game of Thrones and you just want to do that now, throw this in your game. It's fun. This alliance has remained steadfast, but very few in numbers until the fall of the Shadow Curtain with the final death of the Nosferatu Baba Yaga. So once that bitch bit it, like that.
What was that?
That's the dog.
God, I hope the mic picked that up. But in terms of Tzimisce, they got beef with the Baba Yaga. Is he okay?
Yeah, he wants attention really bad, and he gets really upset when I'm in the house, but he can't see me.
Okay, sorry about that.
He's got to get used to it. He's like 3 years old now.
He's becoming an adult. But yeah, the Baba Yaga and the other babushkas of Tzimisce, they've been having beef for centuries. That bitch bites it. And that basically removed the curtain, the umbral curtain that was protecting the lands, and basically left the like, I guess in the militaristic terms, the flank wide open for the lupines to go, crack knuckles. We're going to crack open these castles and take back the land from these fucking worm-tainted assholes.
Yeah.
And the Oradea League went, nah.
How about you don't?
Just fighting, yeah. Just strapping on armor. That was like custom made for their Zulo forms.
Oh my god.
Right?
Yes.
Like the most metal of shit. I
like that.
They wouldn't actually have Zulo forms, unfortunately, because they don't have
'cause
vicissitude.
Yeah,
just that mental image, though, was really cool in my head for a second. But yeah, no, just a guy that's just beefy as shit.
Being like, I have not picked up this sword in centuries.
Excellent.
I've been excited.
Yeah.
It's been boring.
I've been fighting the fucking old grandma bitch for so long. Now it's like, new challenger? Excellent. So...
Love it.
Fuck. Sorry, I'm kicking myself for that slight misspeak a moment ago, but that's mostly because I'm like, guys,
No, it's okay. I've
enjoyed reading and researching for this clan. I've got some fucking opinions. We'll deal with it in the history episode.
Yay!
But there's a lot. There's a lot, and the characters that narrate in canon information, they are yappers. And occasionally
Tzimisce tend to monologue.
Yeah, and occasionally just my brain goes, what? And I'm like, hold on. Okay, hold on. Anyways, so now in modern nights, this is where it gets interesting because the League has pivoted their goals.
Mm-hmm.
There's information about this in the Gehenna Wars book, the newest book for 5th ed.
Hell yeah.
I fucking love this book. It's a little dense, but everything I've gotten so far, great. So, as the Gehenna Wars are heating up and there's like elders starting to like actually come out of the woodwork, like proper Methuselah, and things are going, problem.
Yeah.
People are nutting the fuck up and standing 10 toes down.
Hell yeah.
In ways that you're just like,
Really?
Okay.
That's a choice. Let's go.
So the League's one of them. Basically what is happening is their forces are getting bulked up not only by the old clan coming out of the shadows and going like, okay, I can regain my titles and lands and all that stuff. Members of Gangrel and Nosferatu from this region are also stepping up and going like, oh, well, I have these ancestral ties to these lands and stuff. I too will pick up the banner of my ancestors.
Hell yeah.
And fight the antediluvians, I guess.
Let's fucking go.
And I'm like, and the Camarilla.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Just fuck them.
And I don't want to be in the spot because they're crazy assholes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm grabbing a sword.
I'm a knight now?
I'm a knight. I have land.
What?
In this economy?
I do really like the idea, too, of a lot of the old Sabbat who are just like, all right, this is getting out of hand. I can't deal with these literal, like...
The religious psychos?
The religious psychos or the shock and awe just terrorists who are just like, well, if we just murder people at random in a city every night, that'll take care of the Camarilla.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's just go back to the knights thing.
Yeah, some of the Sabbat guys who are older and they're like, I was here for the long con strategy to fight the antediluvians. And now there's just a bunch of accelerationists who are like, well, if we burn the planet faster, that'll wake Dad up and we can start the world over again. And you're like, that's
not gonna work.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So instead, let's
also,
put on
I need
this
to
armor.
talk to you about your problems with women. You've been on too many of those fucking 4chan boards. It's crazy. But yeah. So these guys are like getting up and raising the banners of the League. And now there's domains sprouting up in Poland and even parts of South America that are just like, yep, we're doing this. This is our side now.
That's
our
cool,
faction,
though.
which is cool.
I think it's neat that, like, specifically it's the Gangrel and Nosferatu, because, like, of the rest of the clans, those two were kind of most allowed to be around and just kind of hanging out in Tzimisce territory.
Yeah, like, I'll talk about it in the history episode, but there's, like, a long-standing tradition of, because they're in this, like, central Eurasia area, and it's, like, right up on the steppe, there's a lot of, like, nomadic peoples that have, since ancient times, been either collaborating with or traveling through these various lands, so they just kind of they have some camaraderie there.
Right.
There's like, yes, the horsemen, I remember them. Excellent. This strange box has how many horsepower?
Oh my god, 400? Where do you put them?
Yeah! Exactly, it's great. Great fun we can have with that. So the elders within the League see this basically as their time to strike against the Camarilla and crush the Venture and the Tremere and take over their rightful place as ruling vampire society.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah. There are younger members of the League who are a little bit more skittish and wish to keep the Alliance underneath the elders as a way of keeping themselves safe. So they're just like, haha, okay, Dad, cool. I'm gonna run the logistics here. Here's your sword.
Or
go kick ass.
I polished it for you.
Yeah.
They're like, I was down with the fighting werewolves part, but
fighting God?
kind of like the
Holy
society stuff.
Yeah. They're like, the banners are cool. I do like a Ren fair. I love a Ren fair. Wenches, mwah, chef's kiss. You want me to do what now? Holy shit.
What about Kane?
What about, hold on, who?
Like the chicken joint? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. And then there's others who are like, oh, this is cool. But then they are like, yeah, but the Camarilla kind of have some better resources, so I'm going to go over there with all this shit. So there's some, like, internal politics already causing problems.
Yeah.
As I said, if you're somebody who likes a Game of Thrones with, like, the actual, like, politics.
This is pretty cool.
This is a fun way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to learn a whole new rule system.
Yay!
You already got the rules.
Boom.
Ew. I think it's neat. Just centuries old beef coming back to just be like, no.
You remember me?
I remember Hardestat in his stupid hat. What happened? Excellent.
That's hilarious.
Who with a boomstick?
These wands are cumbersome, but powerful.
Mm-hmm. Some of the wands fly now? What? Like which?
Like which?
I'm having too many giggles. I'm sorry. And so other people that are within, I'm counting this as within the bloodline, quote unquote, because they're part of the chain of ascension, I guess. Transmutation.
They got that Tzimisce blood.
They do get that Tzimisce blood. I've termed this as the help TM. So there's Revenants. We just did a Revenant family episode if you want more details on that. I'm going to give a quick capsule review of 5 of the big Revenant families who the Tzimisce mostly deal with. So we have the Bradoviches. They are gruff and violent and animalistic. This family line is known for their fighting prowess and their skills of animal husbandry and breeding. Take that how you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Grimaldis.
Just remember, humans are also animals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bradoviches, goddammit. The Grimaldis, these tend to be the most chill of the Revenant families. Kind of has a Todd from Finance energy.
Mm-hmm.
This family is the most independent from their host clan, with some branches of the family secretly working to try and free themselves and be like truly independent Revenant families.
That's tough to do.
Very tough to do.
Yeah.
Such a cool idea for a character, though.
It's so much fun. It's such a cool idea. There's so much fun you can have with this. There's also the Obertuses. These are the scholars, sorcerers, scientists, spiritualists of the Revenants. This family is held in high esteem among the Tzimisce, even being the bloodline of the infamous Sasha Vikos.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's where they originally came from. So if you want a Tzimisce Revenant who is a nerd or is going to have access to books or understand witchcraft or that kind of thing, in a chronicle, an Obertus might be somebody like they go to contact first before they get to the actual Tzimisce character. I kind of want to say, you remember like Herr Knock in Nosferatu, like the accountant guy at the real estate agent who's also like doing those spooky occult shit. I think that's a good example of who this might be.
Okay. Could a ghoul or a revenant have an awakening and have an avatar?
I don't think so.
So if you get ghouled, it would, or the being ghouled would prevent it, or if you had one and then got ghouled?
I think you stay a mage if you get ghouled.
If you, canonically, yeah. If you're a mage already and you get ghouled, you still are a mage. There might be some complications with access to your magic because your connection to your avatar is getting fucked with.
That's fair.
So,
and also your paradigm is probably getting fucked with.
Your paradigm's also getting fucked with.
Blood-fueled magic that you have to
you're
explain.
like, this is what reality is.
Wait a second.
But this fucked up witch is really hot. And I'd do anything for her.
And her magic works really differently.
Yeah.
Really different.
So there's a lot of ways that causes complications that you could find out in game if you so desired. The next family I'm talking about is the Xantosas. Buddies. They are cultural curators, drug fiends, and libertines. This family mostly skates by on a tradition and legacy of having been a powerful, like, aristocratic family back in the day, and now it's very working class, just kind of slumming it, struggle bus, lot of tracksuits. But yeah, their power and influence now is mostly based around drugs and hookers, but mostly drugs.
Okay, lots of drugs.
Yeah, so if you have any kind of like crime family film that you've seen with anybody from any kind of like Slavic culture, these guys.
Cool.
But more degenerate. Just make it crazier.
Got it.
Yeah. And then you have the Oprichniki. I'm not good with Slavic languages. I'm trying. They're kind of known more as enforcers. This family were survivors of the brute squads wielded by Ivan the Terrible to uphold his reign during the 1500s.
Damn.
So these now are the ancestors of those guys.
Okay.
They were picked up by members of the Oradea League.
Of course.
And this Revenant family basically acts as kind of like knights at arms, logistic guys, protectors. of their liege lords and all that. The other revenant families fucking hate them and are constantly trying to, like, if they see one, kill it.
Why is that? Is it just
because their masters also want to kill them?
Okay.
Their masters are like, we don't like old clans, Tzimisce.
Fair. Yeah.
So it bleeds into the revenants. So those for sneaky are trying to, like, keep themselves alive while also fighting these other revenant families. Because their liege lords are like, well, of course, they're blights against the planet and they're possessed by demons and ick.
And ick.
So, yeah! Also, a thing I had found, I can't escape it. I found more blood and milk, and unfortunately it does relate to revenants. So, I got a weird soundbite from a good pal, Louis Pasteur. Insert here.
It appears you thought you could simply exercise yourself away from the teachings and methods of Louis Pasteur, but no, I come here for you with a quote, potentially a warning, or at least some advisement. I once witnessed how the revenants' blood tied their own children in service to their lords. The mother, her breasts heavy with milk, partook of her lord's vitae, then fed her child. As the infant suckled at her teat, she withdrew a knife and made a tiny incision just above her nipple, amid a sea of scars. Her blood flowed freely over her breast and into the child's mouth, while it lapped the muddy mixture of the two. Milk and Blood, Tzimisce Revised, page 19. Haha, got him.
Thanks, Lou.
Thanks, Lou.
Hey, Louis!
I thought I was safe. I thought I was free. I thought I had left all of the milk in the milkisode, but
it cannot happen.
No, I just keep finding. I keep finding things. Anyways, so speaking of titty blood milk, Schlachta?
Yeah, I suppose you could.
You could. Nothing's stopping you.
You could have a Schlachta with like 13 mammary glands all squirting.
If you so desire. If you want to build them, if you go to the Player's Guide, page 241, there's information about them. Basically, think of these as like Super Ghouls or Ghouls Plus. Ghouls Platinum.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is the paid version for sure.
Yeah. These are specialized ghouls that have been crafted by their lord for a specific task of some sort. And you get very pedantic on what the task is. Like, it's like, what is my purpose? You spread butter. Oh my god. if you want to play that guy.
Yeah.
You could be that little robot guy.
It's true.
If you wanted.
You wanted.
The Schlachta can be human, animal, or flesh crafted like a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Boy.
Can you play a Schlachta?
Considering there are rules to play ghouls, yes.
You just have to beef it up a little bit.
I would say beef it up a little bit, and also the odds of you going outside and interacting with anything is
almost zero.
It's going to be very problematic.
They are almost always masquerade breaches.
Yeah. Well,
even without the vicissitude, they're just like
something
so
wrong.
Fucking weird and like, yeah.
Borderline just have to give them like the Nosferatu bane almost.
Just about, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. That's something I would definitely recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are outfitted for some sort of combat, but some may be more specialized for like finer detail crafted works and whatnot. They are all clearly not human. Go nuts with your body horror.
Mm-hmm.
This is a prime example to do that. And some even get special training to be resistant to vampiric mind effects.
I wonder what that means. Does that mean just like, okay, I'm going to use Dominate on you, resist it, and then you use Dominate and they don't resist, so you punish them, and you use Dominate again until they figure it out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or, you know, they've used vicissitude to rewire their brains in a way, like with their neurons to be able to do it. So basically, in terms of mechanics, I would say Schlachta, if I was statting it out, there's some rules for this in the book, but a thing I might give if somebody wanted to play one of these is you know how for most Dominate and Presence effects, if it is affecting a mortal person, they just automatically fail.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would just give them the vampire roll to resist.
Yeah.
Just to make it a little bit more fair.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, there's rules in the books if you want. Fun fact though, Schlachta comes from the Polish word meaning noble.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we got the Vazod. Vozd. Okay. I'm not good with these languages. I'm trying. All right. These are the hulking amalgams of ghouls that are slammed together to make horrendous murder tanks.
Neat.
Quite literally, there are canonical Vozd that are tanks.
Like they are built into tanks, so they are like part tank, part
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
man.
Men, women.
People. They're tank
Flesh
people.
tank.
Yeah, they're flesh tank.
Flesh tank.
Do they shoot bones or normal
You
rounds?
You could.
Yeah. You just, the problem is if you have the Vuz tank wandering around and it's using like regular munitions, you're gonna have to go out and like feed it munitions.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's bone that it's shooting, if it keeps eating, which is something they do, they are just beings that are wandering. They don't have really a sense of self outside of just eating.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to eat food. They just will. They just consume.
They're kind of Shoggoth-esque.
Shoggoth-esque. The only thing you have to do is like give it your vitae point once a month just to keep it trucking.
Yep. It doesn't have to eat ever.
Yeah, but if it's eating, that means it's getting re-upped on bones automatically, like a Roomba.
I love it.
Horrifying things. And also,
they just have to put little like vocal cords down the tubing of the gun, so as the bone thing goes, it screams.
I hate it. It's great. The Vuzd will only respond to commands from its lord, and it's like simple commands. Mental disciplines will do dick all here, so run.
Yeah.
Run. This will be or have a lot of
firepower.
Lot of supplies. Just for you all to understand how big this thing is. These are beings that are put together through a process combining blood sorcery and vicissitude to push at least 15 ghouls together.
15 people.
There could be more.
And because of their ghouls, I assume you can play one.
I don't think you
they
could
don't
play
have
a
any
Vuzd.
mental faculties. I mean, you could.
If you want to pilot
only
the
get
Vuzd,
physical stats.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to actually interact with anyone except for attack.
And eat.
And eat. So I guess have fun playing that.
If you want.
Some
of the...
You really control a scene, though, when you enter it, though.
You really do take control of
I
a
will
scene.
say, the kinder Tzimisce will lobotomize all of those ghouls before they slam them together.
Nice. So they don't realize they're being slammed together. Yeah. I wonder if, like, Voz's, the not-so-kind Tzimisce, slams them together, and it's not a matter of, like, they are actually, like, you can't, discipline or mental discipline them, as much as there's 15 fucking brains in there, like, screaming, like, all sorts of different commands, and that have been, like, dominated by their, creator.
And bloodbound.
Bloodbound by their creator, blah, blah, blah. That it's just like you say, sit, and the one does, but the other minimum 14 are like, no, I'll keep going now. You didn't talk to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's just,
Yeah.
That's also another existential horror that I'm like, oh no. I hate that. Depending on how spooky you want to go, this might also be a consent talk.
Yeah.
Just the Vuzd alone might be there's no Tzimisce in the game. You just happen to go down the wrong sewer pipe and there's a Vuzd. That alone might have to be a consent talk, depending on your players and their acceptance of body horror and existential whatever.
Yeah.
Lines of veils, vibe check.
Whew.
Or it's going to be a really cool sequence. It's going to be really cool or
Yeah.
Okay, so Cadonism. That's for Skipper. Later. I'm not doing that.
It's like weird spirit magic, kind of.
It's
just had a terrible idea for a Vozd, and then we can go back.
Yeah.
Tzimisce just really, really does not like the local Nosferatu. So almost like a gelatinous cube, he just designs a Vozd that's like the size of a sewer tunnel.
The circumference of the sewer pipe.
just go. It's just a mouth. Or mouths.
Rude.
That's good.
Rude. Honestly, that could be a whole story arc for a Chronicle. The Nosferatu's like, yeah, I'm just missing a bunch of guys. I don't know what's happening. I'll trade you a boon if you help me, like, go investigate this.
I feel like it might be a Niktuku.
Yeah.
It's a Vozd.
You go down there and it's just a Vozd.
Just a Vozd.
It's just a Vozd.
I feel like Niktuku might be better, almost.
Honestly, I'd rather the Niktuku at this point.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? It can have the tunnels.
You know what? Run. My little leggies won't go faster. Carry me.
Carry me.
What? You've got celerity. I don't know what this voice is. I'm sorry.
Cigarette Grandma Nosferatu.
Yeah. Yep. With her little leggies. So, disciplines for the Tzimisce. Animalism, to command the beasts upon your land.
Yes.
Dominate, to command the beasts upon your land.
Yes.
Protean, a common, command the flesh that is upon your land.
Yeah.
Or be the land. You got options.
Yeah.
Amalgams. Okay, so
There's a lot.
We've talked about amalgams and disciplines recently. Go check that out if you want more deets and info and whatever from us, trying to streamline things. So, in the player's guide, they have vicissitude, flesh crafting, and horde form if you want to get really into ookie spookies, fleshy, goopy doo doop.
Yeah.
In our Amalgams and Disciplines episode, we did talk about wanting to have an actual, 5-point spread as an option. And if you go to the V5 Tzimisce Reshaping the Clan of Shapers, that was done by Sebastian Black, friend of the show.
Hey, thanks, bud.
Honestly, I really like the way this was written out, and it was paralleled what we had discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a 1-dot adaptive skin protein ability to let you be a little chameleon guy.
Fun.
So if you just want that, you can just have that. And then it builds up vicissitude, flesh crafting, horde form, and then shape of the dragon for your 5th dot big boy.
Oh, damn.
I will say the way these kind of all spread out point-wise between what's actually in the book and then what Sebastian Black did mirrors each other pretty well. So at least in the core actual rules as writ, vicissitude, you get 2 dots protean, 2 bots dominate.
Yeah.
That's your point cost. And if you're doing a base character build, you can do 2 for free in one in the other, and you only have to buy 1.
Right.
And then for flesh crafting, you need protean 3 and already to have vicissitude. And then for horde form, you need protean 4 and then already have vicissitude.
Yeah.
So, depending on how you want to stack out your stuff, honestly, it's not a... I don't think it's as bad as some people have claimed it to be personally, but if you're not into amalgams, I can respect that. I think narratively it's really neat that the way vicissitude works is you're using the power of your will to command your flesh and the flesh of others. I think that's really neat and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
For what Sebastian wrote, he decided to go through protean combining with auspex.
I like that a lot too.
Yeah, which I think is really neat and interesting in its own ways, and has both forms of that have narrative, meta plot implications. So if you want to get into, the nuances of theming and what that means for the character, you got options, baby.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
You could also probably just directly swap Auspex for Dominate in this with these fan-made ones if you like it. The point costs will be the same.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's one of those... Talk to your ST. We talk about things in the show as it's published in the book, so it's at least a baseline, consistent start point for everybody to reference from.
Yeah.
But I still stand by what's written in every fucking World of Darkness book for 5th edition, which is the golden rule. Change the rules as you need for your table.
Yep.
So, hell yeah. Continuing on, the Clan Banes, there is the Horde, which basically means the Tzimisce must choose a specific charge, whether it is a physical domain, a group of people, an organization, something even more esoteric, collectibles.
Funko Pops. Oh no.
Oh no, not the Funko. Not the
Funko Pop
Tzimisce. I hate it.
It's the worst one possible.
Yeah.
I was just kind of hoping for, tanks. Just very, very...
I collect tanks.
I have Tank Depot. I collect tanks. I must have them. It's
I will not sell them.
I mean, I buy and sell, trade... I run a business. I do have my tanks.
Oh, okay.
You keep the good ones and then you sell the others.
That's right. You are a man of business. And I respect that. Do you want to come over? You get 3 nights.
Can I drive a tank?
Yes. Do you want to sleep in the tank?
As long as it's not a living one.
That can be arranged.
That can be.
I had to think about that. I was like, can I? Yeah.
I don't know why.
In terms of the Horde, as far as it is a Bane, this item, whatever it is, needs to be clearly defined and somehow be able to be limited. So your Horde cannot be the magic of friendship.
Yeah.
No. That is an everlasting, unabounded resource.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot be a Horde. Anyways. The kindred must spend their days sleep surrounded by their chosen thing.
Right.
If you do not, you sustain aggravated willpower equal to your Bane severity, waking up.
Ow.
Yeah, which I'm like, oh, that's fun. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Willpower is hard to heal.
It is. It's also neat to see a clan Bane that isn't damaging health.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the mind spices?
Yeah.
I like that it's somewhat similar to the Ravnos one. It's one of the ones that, no, where you day sleep is actually really important.
I think it's fun because it's almost the exact opposite of the Ravnos one, in fact. Because the Ravnos are I gotta keep moving, and the Tzimisce
I am detached from the land.
I have to be here.
Right.
Actually.
Yeah.
It also kind of helps explain why the two of them might get along. It's you literally can't stay here.
Right.
Yeah.
You have 3 nights, you only need 1? Okay.
You know what? Excellent guest.
He comes, he brings a gift from who knows where.
He brings me exotic treasures. Him and I get to drive around in the tank. And then he fucks off. Perfect guest.
Yes. 5 stars.
Can I rate him on Yelp? Also, he rates my business on Yelp every time he makes a new account. Gives me good business recommendations. It's really helped me in the algorithm.
If you need tank.
If you need tank.
Yes, Helga's tanks. I don't know where this is going, guys,
Helga's
anymore.
tanks.
Unhinged. So the other option for a clan bane is called the Curse Courtesy.
Mm-hmm.
As a meat-sea vampire wishing to enter a place of residence, so homes and havens, specifically. If they wish to enter uninvited, they must spend willpower equal to their bane severity or suffer a dice penalty to their discipline pools equal to the bane severity.
Also kind of tough.
Yeah. The invitation must be made by someone who lives/unlives at the residence. Thus, only actual inhabitants of the homes or havens can fulfill this condition.
Question.
Yes.
What if you are going to a building, an abandoned building, and people are squatting there, and they've been there for a while?
That might be an edge case thing, which the Bane does say if there's edge cases like that, you and the storyteller can discuss.
Okay.
Because if it's a public place, so normally like going to a mall, going to an abandoned building, going to a club.
Okay.
That's not a haven. Though if somebody has a haven space in the nightclub, like the club is fine.
Right.
But
The haven is not.
But the haven, you would need an invite.
Right. Okay.
And also you can't stack this with the folkloric Bane about the invite.
Oh, that you can't go in with that one?
Yeah. Because you can't Bethesda no-clip your way out of having flaws. You can't stack this with the other one. Get fucked. But those are both fun. I like that for various reasons. The clan compulsion for the Tzimisce is covetousness. When a Tzimisce suffers a compulsion, the kindred becomes obsessed with possessing something in that scene, desiring it to add to their proverbial hoard.
That can be anything in the scene.
Anything in the scene.
Yeah.
So it could be, but it has to be something they can add to whatever their hoard is. So if they decide their hoard is like some sort of IP intelligence thing, they might need to like acquire a design or an idea or a concept or research notes. Could be a piece of jewelry. Could be their cell phone. Could be their left shoe. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It depends on what's going on.
Yep.
In the moment. Any action not taken towards the purpose of securing this object incurs a 2 dice penalty.
Ow.
The compulsion persists until ownership is established. The storyteller decides what constitutes ownership in the case of a non-object, so, having the idea or the secret.
Right.
Or the object of desire becomes unobtainable. So if, let's say you, for some reason, want somebody's left shoe.
Yeah.
If that person is chucked into the ocean...
You're not getting that shoe.
No, there's no way you're getting that fucking shoe. You're like, well, I tried.
Well, no one has this shoe, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I also think you're limited to one.
You are limited to
time.
one of these at a time.
Yeah.
So this is a compulsion that lasts longer than just a scene, which can be a lot.
But it can't stack.
But it does not stack, which is good news. So you're just like, yes, I must get this thing.
You're like, man, I really want to get this thing. I like it.
Yeah, and depending on how creative your player is, you can justify, look, hear me out. I'm not taking the dice penalty because I am befriending the sheriff, which he will give me access to that bitch's haven so I can take that fucking shoe. And I'd be like, you know what?
Get it.
All
You're
the dice.
scheming, buddy. Let's go.
You're scheming. Let's go. You could have a whole lot of fun of this where you're trying to convince your coterie, like, no, this person's terrible. We got to break into their haven to make sure that they're not nefarious and being up to something. Because they've been really sus. In your mind, you're like, I need that shoe.
I need that.
You don't tell the coterie. It's just because you want the Louis Vuittons. They don't need to know that. They're just like, yeah, right? Yeah, they've been really
She's
sus.
been real weird.
Yeah, you know what, buddy? We'll help you out.
That guy.
Yeah.
He gave me some weird looks at the last Elysium. I think you're making a good
and
point.
he's like, yes.
He did.
Excellent. You're right. Yes.
He also talks shit about your painting.
Bitch. So, and my last favorite thing with the system is the coterie merits. For those who have forgotten, coterie merits are merits you take as a player, but it helps the group.
It is neat.
It is neat and cool, and I recommend these. So for the Tzimisce ones, it is Old World Hospitality. It is 2 dots. Any coterie mate who stays within your haven for a day sleep, when a session has concluded, they get to restore an additional superficial willpower damage.
Yay!
And this does include shared coterie havens.
Very cool.
Yeah. So if you guys decide to have a shared space, and you have, especially if you have somebody in your party who's bad at regenning willpower, this is super fucking helpful.
Willpower damage is the hardest to heal, so.
Yeah, especially if somebody's like had a really bad session and they're like, man, I had to do willpower rerolls and just
All sorts of.
I'm fucked, and my regen rate is like 2.
2.
And I spent like 6.
Yeah.
Having that one extra little, like, it doesn't sound like much, and I understand that, but the margins of regens and spends in the system are very small, so just that one willpower can make all the fucking difference.
It changes 3 nights of healing into 2.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Which is a big deal. And I think that's a super helpful one. It's neat. And also, encourages people to, like, be good guests to the Tzimisce, and the Tzimisce to roleplay being a host, and it encourages that, like, little game dynamic, which I think is dope. Hell yeah. So, Tzimisce. Vibes, basics, disciplines. How we feeling, homies?
Fun so far, but
Ew!
I heart Tzimisce. I know that our next episode is going to be painful and is going to be like very problematic.
Oh, it's so problematic.
I heart Tzimisce.
Yeah.
They're, again, like, I love the alien thought process that they have, and they'll just like, I'm out of touch with humanity. I don't generally play the like monstrous versions of those.
You just do weird little guys.
Yeah, I just like little dudes who are like, I'm not human. I don't need to be human. Let's go this way.
Yeah.
I love it. I like Tzimisce. When I first was introduced to the clan way back when, finding the book in the closet, the game closet, I was like, cool, flesh shaping, neat, wah, hoo, ha, ha. And then in recent years, I've started to be much more into like the old clan and like the Khaldun'ism and that kind of stuff. I find it cooler. But I love this clan.
I like how much variety they have. I mean, they could equally work just as well as 2 separate clans. Just having Old Clan be its own and then the Flesh Shapers be their own thing. And they would still be just on par with all the other clans if the amount of shit that's going on with them. But I think that does give them very interesting, because the Old Clan is kind of rooted in where they are and they don't do a lot.
They haven't been doing a lot until, like, honestly,
just now.
Super recently.
Yeah. Or if they have, they've been doing their own thing. And not really. And
I don't know if everybody wants to run a Chronicle in Transylvania. Some people, like me, I'm just like, yes. But other people...
That sounds cool.
But Van Helsing, I just want to go to Transylvania. I'm not a field man. I like that there is a lot you can do with this clan, which is fun. And you do have the options if you want to just do Vampire Classic TM, but you don't want to pay Capitalism Man with the Ventru.
Yeah.
If exploring themes of, like, leadership and what that means is not something you're into, but you want to play Classic Vampire, setting somebody up with a Old Clan Tzimisce as their first baby bat, honestly not the worst way to go. I feel like flesh crafting, because it's very open-ended as an option that might be a little advanced for people that are not used to that kind of shit. It's kind of the same thing with the Ravnos, where chemistry is such an open-ended discipline on, like, how creatively you can use it. That might be a lot for new players.
Yeah. It's also up there with kind of my problem with some of the how open-ended they are. Like, they kind of are only as powerful as your player is going to be creative with them. Whereas, like, a lot of other abilities, it just says right on the tin what it does. And so for a new player, that could be fun, but that could also be frustrating if they're kind of taking it as written. Like Skip Roy says, well, it says I can make a pocket. And, all right,
maybe
this was
some
expensive.
Weapons. Yeah.
This was an expensive pocket.
I'm like, yes, but how big could the pocket be? What do you want to put in the pocket?
Yeah.
What is the pocket made out of?
Yeah, it's when you get creative, these types of disciplines do get, like, their full shine and their full,
and they get
like,
really squirrely.
Yeah, you can get really creative with them. I think celerity is a fucking cool discipline, don't get me wrong, but it's very one track, where...
You're just like, I go fast,
I'm graceful. Got it. Neat. Where, yeah, like you were saying with Ravnos and this one, you are. Sky's the limit, homie. Just go wild.
And they're just like, now I'm scared because there's too many choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the problem with, what is it? Like every artist's problem, a blank page?
Yeah.
It's like the scariest thing on the planet.
Yeah. That's why I recommend. I'm like, got a blank page. I'm like, just throw some smush on it.
Yeah.
You can go from there. Like, get your background.
Fuck it up.
Just put your background wash down. Put your overtone color down, and then you can kind of. Once you've got that down, the stress goes down. You can actually like think.
Yep.
About things, which is dope. I'm gonna have some really spicy takes about Tzimisce next episode.
That's fair.
Please don't be mad at me. Worked really hard.
We made it through Ravnos. I don't think I'll get too upset. We didn't kill you after the amalgam episode, even though you defended them.
I do like the amalgam system. I do. I'm excited for there to be like more amalgams because I think it's interesting when characters are able to manipulate the power and the blood of Cain to do neat shit.
There's a lot of discussion on the Discord about those after that episode. Yes. I don't hate them entirely. It's just I just
think it was badly explained.
Badly explained, and I don't like how they were just used to introduce a clan.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So strap in, strap on.
Strap up.
Strap up.
Grab some Kleenexes.
Just be prepared. There's going to be so much vagina dentata and we're getting to the extreme end of some of the Blank Bodies trends of things that Sarah always has to talk about every episode.
Yay.
Yeah.
So thank you, Paralyze, for the music. We exist on social medias. We have Instagram at Blank Bodies Pod, TikTok at Blank Bodies Podcast, and Blue Sky at The Blank Bodies.
TikTok and Blue Sky are the main ones these days.
Yeah. I'm trying to get back into reposting stuff on those so we're consistent throughout. Shockingly, reading and rereading and rereading sections about torture in depth from the perception of the torturer was not good for my brain. So sorry about that, everyone.
Especially when they're talking about it like as a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's not a good time.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, I probably should have given myself more breaks. Self-care is important. I'm bad at it. What I'm also bad at is asking for people to support me financially.
Oh, God.
So, hi, guys. We have a Patreon. If you appreciate the work and effort that we do on the show, feel free to chuck us a couple of $1 dues.
Yeah.
Gives you access to some stuff on our community Discord. The Discord is free. You get some extra goodies, including channels to talk to us directly about the show, and you get bonus episodes. We have started our journey into doing a in-depth review of Kindred the Embraced as our Patreon bonus episodes.
Yeah, we just did the pilot epised. That one's up.
That was a long-ass pilot. I forgot pilots were long as shit.
Yep.
It's like almost like a movie.
It was like 90 minutes. And it's just great 90s sitcom, like crime drama, cheeseball.
It's almost soap opera, yeah.
Yeah. Quick capsule review. I do recommend it. If you want to hear why,
pay us.
We have some Patreon goals. If we get to $750 a month, we're going to send everyone on the Patreon an enamel pin based on the show as a thank you. We have not decided on the design yet. Once we get closer, we'll field you guys for what kind of a pin you guys want. If we get to $1,000 a month, I will do the cum-isode. I'm not looking forward to that at all.
I think, didn't we say that I had to do the cum-isode?
No, I'm doing the cum-isode.
All right,
it's
cool.
me. But we'll also
all right, cool.
But the thing you will be helping me with is we will do a video travel vlog journal thing of Indianapolis in terms of World of Darkness, and like you guys can actually see locations that are written about in the game.
Yeah.
We've done the corn doc. We've done a couple live plays, but we want to expand on that, and so that's one of our goals, is working on getting new video content out to you, the viewer.
The viewer.
Thank
viewers.
you.
Yeah.
Give us your eyeballs.
And speaking of eyeballs, if you have a cool project, regardless of your eyeball situation, let us know at blankbodies@gmail.com. It could be LARP orgs, it can be actual play series, podcasts that are also related to World of Darkness and or horror gaming. Do you do cosplay stuff?
Are you a vampire?
Are you
a poet, an artist, a musician of sorts. Anything involving gaming and horror. The Gothic, if you will.
Hit.
Literature. Do you write books? We're happy to talk to you about your things.
Up.
I believe I have finished.
I'm trying to push these little things together and they don't want to fit.
Those are I believe those were spools that my dog shit bags came.
I pulled them out
around.
of my pocket here.
So they're the ones your dog shit bags came wrapped
Yes,
around.
and now I'm going to force them into an arch.
Well, while he plays with poop utility tools, have a good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
Oh my god.
Mwah.
Not the mac and cheese.